Coach, a very warm day outside by Minnesota standards, but then again, it is still summer. Either way, the AC is working just fine at U.S. Bank Stadium in the Twin Cities. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the San Francisco 49ers and the Minnesota Vikings. The children will groan. It's the final weekend of summer, but we've got the NFL, and we're underway on EA Sports. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line.
Here we go. 54 miles. Check three. Check 31. Check. Here we go. Go to 54.
They'll run for the first time with Tevin Coleman. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
I'm going from back to you.
Prescott down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The defensive end, Danielle Hunter, drops him.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
I don't think this is the script they had in mind for their opening drive. This is 3rd and long. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. I don't think this is the script they had in mind for their opening drive. This is 3rd and long. Prescott from the gun. He's going to loft one deep left side here. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. So instead of 4th down, 1st down.
Well, so much for winning the down you put a lot of emphasis on because 3rd down is key for offense and defense. Instead, you're going to stay on the field and start a new set of downs.
So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10.
Switch it. Come on, switch it. Check 3. We're going to 54. Right here. Switch. 26.
They'll run with Coleman on 1st down. Tackle made that time by Anthony Barr.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
On 2nd down, it's Coleman. And now a loose football. Coleman lost it. And this belongs to the Vikings. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
Now the first carry for Dalvin Cook. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game. So what do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels. Because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, it's nothing but room to run.
2nd and 11. a big loss here as he's taken down. Nick Bosa able to get in there and run him down for what's going to be a loss of 15 yards all told. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Throw left side, complete to Moss. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. An incredible play there. They do get big yardage, but they're still stopped a yard or two short, and it's 4th down. And how about this one now? In their own territory, a gutsy call. They're going to go for this on 4th and a yard. They're indeed going for it as they look to throw. The ball popped in the air and intercepted. Picked off by Kyle Fuller. And into the end zone. A pick six for the 49er D as they score the touchdown. So they go on 4th down. Not only do they not get it, it turns into 6 points the other way. Disastrous.
And many people think you should just go ahead and knock it down in that situation. Turn it over for the offense. But I had a defensive coordinator recently tell me, we see that as a passive play. We don't do that anymore. We want the ball in our hands, and we want to head the other way.
Probably also instinct a lot of times. If you see a lot of green grass ahead of you, go ahead and grab it.
It's the exact right play to do. That's knowing when to break the rules and when to make a play that maybe you hadn't been taught.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. After the pick six, they go right back to the air. That'll be caught over the middle by Moss. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 17 yards, 1st down, Vikings. Good throw there to start this second possession. Maybe help erase the memory of the interception he threw first possession.
Yeah, I think a lot of the time now there's a communication between the head coach, offensive coordinator, quarterback's coach. All right, we got to get him settled. It's not easy after you've thrown a pick six. You might want to just run the football, but I think in most cases you want to give him easy throws that he's comfortable with to get him going again. And it's not necessarily just throwing one or 2 yards. What throws does he like to make? Give him a couple of those and get him going.
Definitely looked like one he was comfortable with on the last throw.
Ready? 60 outlaw. 6-6. Pull it high. Go.
2nd and 14. That's to Dalvin Cook, his running back. Give him 6 on the play, and that'll bring up a 3rd down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
49ers have an extra defensive back on the field, a nickel set for 3rd down. They'll drop the throw. And it falls incomplete after almost being intercepted. A pick there would have been great. The good news for the defense now, it's 4th down. Now on 4th down, it's Cameron Johnston on to punt it away. So just a 3-yard return following a punt of 45. And the 49ers will take over deep in their own territory. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And last drive, obviously not what you're looking for. You've got the lead. You've got to protect the football.
So in other words, someone got lucky because they've been moving.
And now nothing but green ahead of him. He's at the 40, the 20. Touchdown, 49ers. Tevin Coleman, 85 yards. And the 49ers are able to strike quickly for 6. Early on, they have all facets of the game working in tandem.
Yeah, you give the defensive touchdown early, give you the first score, and then your offense piggybacks on top of that and gets their own. And any coach we've ever talked to, we've had that conversation with them prior to the game, they always say, if we can score on defense or special teams, that gives us like a 95% chance of winning the game. I don't know if that number's correct, but it certainly does tend to play out. That way, doesn't it?
It does. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. Picked off at the 35. And into the end zone. A pick 6 for the 49er D as they score the touchdown. So now 2 pick sixes that he's thrown in his first half of play. Where do you go from here?
Well, number one, make sure you keep your poise. Make sure you go to the sideline after throwing this second one, and you look like you're still in charge, that you're still the guy, because your team's going to feed off of you. And if you're having your hands on your head or shaking your head and walking with your head down, guess what? They're not going to rally at all.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. On the ground, it's Cook. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 3. They'll run it. Here's Cook. They find some open field here. 21-0 our score after 1. So the big play moves him all the way across midfield to the 40 now for 1st and 10. Now back to throw. Flush to his right. It's caught. Smith. 25 yards that time.
Sometimes it's designed, and sometimes you just have to know when to leave the pocket and move and make something happen. And on that play, he was able to get on the run and was still accurate throwing the football.
First red zone chance now for the Vikings. They've got a 1st and 10 at the 15. First down, here's the run with Cook. And despite the fancy footwork we saw, they'll get to him just inside the 15. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Credit the sack to Fred Warner.
So if we recount real quick, he had the touchdown earlier, and now he comes up with the sack here. No doubt about it, he's having himself a game.
The Vikings on third down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 11.
Mike's 50, Mike's 50.
They'll look to throw. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
And the 10-year vet knocks it through the goalpost, and the deficit drops now from 21 down to 18. Maybe a little fortunate there. That was leaking a little, maybe leaking a lot, but he got it.
Yeah, he actually was able to make it work. How about the body language, though, right? As he's watching that ball leak to the right, trying to bring it back in, and had just enough to get it done.
And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And coming off a one-play drive that was so deflating for the defense, what's their mentality? How do they rally here and stop this offense?
Well, hopefully there's some determination that sets in because they weren't ready to go on the last one. Give all the credit to the offensive guys for getting it done, but to allow a run of that length, that's just not being prepared. So now, are they determined? Are they ready to read their keys and make the proper plays?
And we'll see how determined they are. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. First down, San Francisco. The pickup, 14 yards.
Check right 54. We're going to 54. Why in? Check. Crunch. We're going to 54. Going to 54. Why in?
On first down, it's Coleman. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That one good for 33 and a first. Well, this is the reigning NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Runs like that might get him another award.
Yeah, Thunderbolt right out of the gate, huh? How about that, hitting the defense hard early? And, of course, carrying the momentum from last week into this week's game.
Complete out to Samuel on the quick throw. And across the chalk into the end zone. It's a 49er touchdown. Deebo Samuel, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Niners are able to stretch their lead. Gold with the extra point, and the rout is on here in this first half. After the touchdown, it's Robbie Gould now to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I've never met an offensive...
And for the third time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off right around the 43. And the return will stop right around the 25. And he may want to track down that football because that's interception number 1 on his career.
You're saying that's going into the trophy case?
I'd put it there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's when you ask the equipment guys to make sure they hold it for you after the game. But if you play in the back 7 on defense, that's part of your job, finding ways to take the ball away from the other team.
Following the interception, here's Prescott. Completes it to Coleman. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
To throw again on second down. Prescott. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off with great anticipation. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. Kyle Fuller, the one to make the tackle.
No gain on the play. 2nd and 10 at the 20-yard line.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10.
Pick it up, D. Hey, Zoo. Hey, Mike 50, Mike 50, Mike 50. Hey, watch that.
2nd and 10. Flushed out right. Lets it fly for Thielen. This is caught at the 20. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Adam Thielen, an 80-yard touchdown. And the Vikings are able to cut into that deficit. As he was shuffling right out of the pocket, you could just tell he was going to take a shot downfield. He had his eyes down there the whole way.
He certainly did. He wasn't taking off to go, right? When he was flushed from the pocket, a lot of times you see him, eyes will drop, ball will get tucked, and he takes off, becomes a running back. But as you noted, stayed alive as a passer, tremendous body control, and a pretty good arm there, too.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. Here's Prescott. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Well, maybe that can give him a little bit of a pick-me-up, a little bit of a jolt. One of the few things has gone right defensively.
Because other than that, it's really been a first half to forget. 2nd and 14 as they've got work to do here after the sack.
Get ready.
Here's Prescott. Going up top. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
Well, partner, they're not content to run this one out as we head towards the half, trying to hit a big chunk play right there and add to their score.
Yeah, this is a confident group. At the very least, they're thinking field goal.
Yeah, and I don't blame them one bit. I don't think you sit on the ball going into the half when you have a chance to put some more points on the board.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on 3rd down. From the shotgun, it's Prescott. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down.
And I feel like my man, Old Mo, momentum might be changing jerseys right now. How about what they just got done? They scored a touchdown their last drive. Now here's a 3 and out. Maybe momentum's getting ready to creep to the other sideline.
This is taken around the 12. 12 yards on the return that time. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And you're under a minute to go in the half, a first half that hasn't been particularly kind to you. How do you think they'll play this?
Well, I think the smart approach is to run out the clock, lick your wounds at the half, and see if you can come up with a strategy to play better in the second. But there's also something to challenging your offense right here. You know, hey, guys, you help dig this hole. See if you can get us out of it a little bit before the half runs out. Let's go make some plays.
They'll roll him out right. And that is incomplete. Down to 15 seconds now. He was looking for Adam Thielen there. And it's 3rd and short. They tried to throw on 2nd down, unsuccessful. Now it's 3rd and 1.
Get this ball back for the offense. Let's go.
Hey, Alpha, let's go.
Here we go. 50.
Snap.
They'll set up to throw. Lets it fly for Thielen. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Intended for Adam Thielen. Incomplete.
Here's Cameron Johnston now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before halftime. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen. You know, something they feel is somewhat safe that might actually pop and turn into a big play. That's what you usually run in this situation.
Or go 4 verticals because why not?
Because you're feeling it, right? You're just feeling it.
Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
Let's go.
Let's go.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the 2nd half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the 2nd half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one. And the Niners get there and bring him down. Eric Armstead, the defensive end, will get credited for the sack. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Looking to throw. Finding room at the 30. Throw left side complete. That's Moss. Finally taken down at the 32-yard line.
Boy, they had a lot of real estate to make up there, but what a big-time play for them. Nice completion, excellent game. Now they're in 4th and manageable.
Just a little short, though, of that marker. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And the Niners will go on offense. 1st and 10. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. They were able to get the ball back here, didn't surrender any points. Now they'll look to add to that lead.
And how about the boost the defense gave them?
It's a foot race. The 40, 30, 20, 10, touchdown, 49ers. Tevin Coleman, an 80-yard touchdown. And the Niners are able to stretch their lead. One play, 80 yards. Pretty easy drive to recap.
It certainly is, but not so easy to execute. Starting on your own 20, you want something to kickstart your drive and get it off to a nice start. They went for the whole thing and got it. That's a great way to send a message to the opposing team.
Gold able to tack on the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. After the touchdown, it's Robbie Gould now to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. Now Cook. Had the huge play last time. Here it is a much smaller gain of 2.
Well, praise has to go to the guys in the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success throughout this ball game.
He pushes forward for maybe 3 down to the 6-yard line.
We've called a lot of games, but we don't normally talk about inside linebackers being that fleet of foot, do we?
No, he was able to get outside there to make that play.
Yeah, and you know what makes them faster? Their ability to read plays, understand what offenses are trying to do, and put themselves in proper position.
In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. They're going to look to throw. Being chased, and they're going to get to him. A sack. Sacked back at the 9-yard line. Nick Bosa able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon. They'll look to throw here. And that's caught by Smith. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Herb Smith Jr., his first touchdown of the new season. And the Vikings are able to close the gap just a bit. Extra point up and good by Bailey. And that'll cut the lead down to 18. 17. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken.
Let's go. The Niners take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And they hit the home run last drive. One play on the ground all the way to the house. Now the defense, maybe they're expecting a run here.
Partner, I love your description because when we talk about hitting the home run, we're usually thinking about a passing play, aren't we? Something in the air, deep ball. But how about them just taking it big-time jaunt? Now if you're coming back out, now they've established this run game, the play-action pass could very well be open.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty.
Go. Go. Undercrush, undercrush, undercrush. Hey, kill. 27. Let's go, D, let's go. That's right. 26.
Play action now. Prescott. Open man is Samuel. Complete. Call it a gain of 12, but of course not a first down due to the previous penalty.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one. 3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Check. Fresh down. There we go. Kill. Go to 54.
They'll try and run for it here. It's Coleman. And he's going to be stopped short of a first down as they'll get to him at about the 33. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it'll be 4th down.
But forget knowing where the first down line was. This defense created their own line of scrimmage. They won every battle up front, and a lot of times that is one-on-one. And if you win your one-on-ones enough...
And look at this. It's a fake. And the gamble pays off. They get the first. They only get 4, but the fake punt works and gets them a first down. So they snap it straight to the up man. What's his responsibility? Normally, obviously, just to protect, but he's got to be a guy that can be pretty agile too, right?
Yeah, without a doubt, because you're talking about a guy, even in protection, he may have to slide up and down the line of scrimmage to pick up someone who comes through trying to block a punt. So you know he's got that ability to move. But oftentimes it's a running back, a fullback, someone who's used to having the ball in their hands, and he's able to pick up the first down.
That'll be marked as a 27-yard pickup. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Handoff, Coleman, right side. Patrick Onwuasor up to make the tackle. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
To throw is Prescott. Eluding the pressure right. Now he's going to let it go deep right sideline. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. Robbie Gould on now to try the field goal. It'll be a 47-yard attempt from the left hash. And that is not going to get there. Oh, he missed it short. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. Well, they can probably live with that with this late lead in the 4th quarter. That's one of the few things that's gone wrong.
You're exactly right. This one was well in hand. That kick there was more for cosmetics, to add to their score. Not getting it, that shouldn't harm them at all.
Hey, Charlie. Hey, Rocky.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Lets it fly, and his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Sidney Jones. And the return out shy of midfield to the 46-yard line.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. Now that turnover might just about do it. Here, 4th quarter, the lead that you've got, they can just run the football, run the clock.
You're exactly right. They played smart, a couple of first downs, and this one should just about be over.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, he was looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple of yards out of it because those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
Alert 3.
They will run again with Coleman. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40. A gain of 10 and a 49er first down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
They'll run on first down. Coleman. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. Good gain there on first down. It keeps them in a running situation, probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front. Good blocking, nice hole for him, ends up picking up nice yardage, stays in bounds to keep the clock rolling. They are in charge of this scenario right now. They want to stay that way.
And not in any rush offensively. The Niners on third down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. Here it's 3rd and 2. He'll get the first down and more inside the 20. And finally wrestled down at the 11. Well, they were in search of a short gain on third down, and they wind up nabbing over 20 yards. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. Looking to throw. Prescott. Escaping the pressure right. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. They're still throwing the football here, and obviously the incompletion stops the clock. That's a bad thing.
Feels to me like they're just keeping them honest on defense because you know they're going to stack the line of scrimmage and try and stop any type of a running play. Short little passes may work in exchange of running plays. Keep the clock moving, keep them moving.
I guess you're right. If they can get some first downs, just as good as running the football. Oh, he shifts past him. A good display of power, but it will only get him just inside the 5 to the 4. That will go as a pickup of 7 on the 7th play of the drive. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Coleman. And he will be very close to a first down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down. It'll be called a gain of 2, and that'll leave them with some options here on 4th and inches. So out comes a field goal team now for the second time here today. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's 49er football here as we get you reset. They've got a 4th down here in a game that looks to have been decided already. And Gold is able to put it through. And that will extend their lead even further. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said. And now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
That'll be taken in the end zone. And he will take it back only to about the 13-yard line here.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
Come on.
They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride.
Playing for a guy once we were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here."
Now the pressure comes, and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. D. Ford able to take him down. It's a loss of 3. So after the sack, they'll come up on a still manageable 2nd and 13.
Coming to you, coming to you.
Yep.
Mike's 50.
Hey, wahoo!
Mike's 50, Mike's 50. Defense wins championships,
Now.
2nd and 13. He's going to let it fly. That's incomplete. Nearly another pick. My goodness. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure, the backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Mike 50.
Hey, Delta.
Back to throw here. And this turns into disaster. He's not going to get forward progress. That'll be a safety. And the safety there, another mistake, and these mistakes just keep piling up.
How many more can they make? They put themselves in such a massive hole now. It's going to be difficult to dig out from under.
Yeah, for sure they can't afford anymore at this point. Then he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. They're on to the 4th quarter now, by the way, at Bank of America Stadium in Carolina. And the Panthers have extended their lead. If they hold on, a victory there would be their 3rd of the year. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point.
Hey, Mike 52, Mike 52.
Gun.
52's the Mike, boys, 52.
And the drive starts with a handoff to Coleman. They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. So a loss of 5, and it'll be second down. They'll keep it on the ground. It's Coleman, and maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. On 3rd down, here's Coleman. And they'll blow that one up back at the 16-yard line. A 5-yard loss there is going to bring up 4th down. Here comes the 49ers punter now. As the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. But, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for San Francisco, it's a dream start. 2 wins in 2 early road games. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the Vikings, they'll drop to 0-2. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew.